Hi, today let's tell you about habits of unhappy people. Are you one of them? Numerous studies have shown that negative emotions have a direct impact on a person's health, happiness, and overall quality of life. There are people who always feel unhappy no matter what happens. Psychologists say that such people have certain habits that lead them into an eternal cycle of unhappiness and failure. What are these habits? Maybe you have such habits too? If so, try to get rid of them as soon as possible. Self-doubt. Constant self-doubt undermines faith in our strengths and capabilities. In this way, we are programming ourselves for constant failure. Would you want someone to constantly tell you that you are incapable, stupid, and good for nothing? Of course not. Therefore, do not be your own enemy and stop doubting your abilities. Negative assumptions. Psychologists call this way of thinking the glass is half empty. Of course, there are situations in life where there is nothing positive and you can't change anything. However, in such situations, where it is not yet clear what the outcome will be, do not be negative and hostile in advance. Comparing yourself to others. This is one of the simplest and most common ways to ensure yourself a bad mood. Don't compare yourself to other people. Most of the time, people tend to compare themselves with those who are more successful, more beautiful, richer, and more interesting. When you do this, you feel jealous and lower your self-esteem, which leads to stress and chronic fear. Compare your current self with your yesterday self. A negative view of the past. We must learn from the past, but not dwell in it. No past events should prevent you from looking optimistically into the future. Remember, it is impossible to change what has already happened, and there is nothing more important than the present. Don't regret the past, rather focus on what you are doing today. The habit of blaming others. Some people blame their parents, friends, relatives, socio-economic situation of the country, politicians, and many other circumstances for their failures, but not themselves. Sure, some people and situations affect our lives, but that doesn't mean they are directly responsible for our failures. You must understand that only you are responsible for your life. Inability to forgive. Mistakes are an inevitable part of life. To err is human. If you can't forgive yourself for the mistakes you've made, you'll never be able to move forward. Get into the habit of admitting that you made a mistake and forgiving yourself for it. Mistakes are definitely not a reflection of your personality. They don't define you as a person. Mistakes are just a moment in life. Even if you were once wrong, it does not mean that you are a bad person. Fear of failure. Fear of failure is related to perfectionism. Some people think they won't be able to do something. In this way, they frustrate themselves and discourage potential success. Of course, high goals stimulate some people to action, but according to psychologists, setting the bar too high can lead to fear of failure. It is much smarter if you go towards the goal in small, but sure and logical steps. Thanks for listening. If you want to hear more, click subscribe and like.